What does it mean when a single smile, captured for only a few seconds, becomes the most remembered moment of an entire night? If you are still watching, subscribe. Let's get the story started as the world of your favorite celebrity unfolds.
Stay tuned.
The hall was already filled with applause long before the cameras found her. A Lifetime Achievement Award is not a simple trophy. It is a marker in time, a quiet declaration that a journey has stretched far, endured storms, shaped an industry, and left footprints others now follow. When Lee Min-ho's name was announced for such an honor, the room responded the way audiences do for artists who have become part of their lives. The applause was not only for performances, but for years, for memories, for eras defined by his presence on screen. But history often hides in the background of big moments. As Lee Min-ho stood to receive the award, polished, composed, carrying the calm confidence of someone who has lived under the spotlight for more than a decade, the cameras did what they always do. They searched the crowd for reactions,
For emotion.
for the human echoes of a milestone. And that is when they found Song Hye Kyo. She was not on stage.
She did not speak.
She did not command attention. She simply smiled. A small, genuine, unguarded smile that seemed to carry pride, warmth, and a quiet understanding of what it takes to survive at the top of the Korean entertainment industry. In that brief expression, viewers felt they saw something rare. Not performance. Not publicity. Just a human reaction to another human's achievement. Within hours, that moment traveled farther than the award itself. Clips circulated. Screenshots froze that fraction of time. Commentaries emerged, analyzing the angle of her gaze, the softness of her expression, the timing of her applause. Some called it admiration.
Some called it respect.
Others, inevitably, tried to write deeper stories into a look that lasted seconds. But to understand why it resonated, one must look beyond speculation. Both Song Hye Kyo and Lee Min-ho belong to a generation of actors who carried Korean drama onto the global stage. Their careers grew during the rise of the Hallyu wave, when storytelling from Korea crossed oceans and languages. Millions watched them in different roles, different worlds, different love stories. For many viewers, these two faces are not just celebrities, but emotional landmarks in their own lives. So when one honors the journey of the other, even silently, it feels symbolic. The award ceremony itself unfolded with elegance. Speeches reflected on perseverance, on the pressure of fame, on the responsibility of influence. Colleagues spoke of professionalism. Directors mentioned discipline. Junior actors looked on with a particular admiration reserved for someone who has opened doors for those behind him. Lee Min-ho's acceptance carried gratitude rather than triumph. He spoke of fans who stayed, teams who worked in the shadows, and the unpredictable nature of a career built on public love. It was the tone of someone aware that longevity in entertainment is never guaranteed. And somewhere in the audience sat peers who understood every unspoken word. Song Hye Kyo, herself a figure of remarkable endurance in the industry, knows the cost of sustained relevance. The long hours,
The scrutiny.
the reinvention required to remain authentic in a world that constantly reshapes its tastes. Her smile, to many viewers, looked like recognition of that shared path. Not romance, not drama, recognition. Yet the internet rarely settles for simple interpretations. Online spaces turned the moment into a narrative. Edits paired the smile with music. Headlines framed it as a lovely interaction. Fans revisited old interviews, old photos, old collaborations within the industry circle, weaving connections that may or may not exist beyond professional respect. This is the nature of modern fame. A glance becomes a headline. A smile becomes a story. Silence becomes a canvas for imagination. But there is a quieter, more meaningful reading. Perhaps what moved people was the sight of one accomplished artist appreciating another. In competitive industries, public acknowledgement among top figures can feel refreshing. It reminds audiences that behind brand images and fan wars are individuals who share the same demanding world. The viral moment, then, becomes less about two stars and more about what they represent. Longevity,
Grace.
survival in a fast-turning spotlight. A Lifetime Achievement Award does not celebrate youth or hype. It celebrates staying power. And those who truly understand its weight are often those still walking the same road. As the ceremony lights dimmed and the night concluded, many awards would be remembered by recipients and industry insiders. But the public carried home a different memory. A smile from the audience. A proud expression. A quiet moment that felt sincere in a carefully managed environment. In cinematic terms, it was a cutaway shot that stole the scene. No grand gesture. No scripted interaction. Just a reminder that sometimes the most powerful reactions are the simplest ones. And maybe that is the biggest revelation of all. Not that a smile went viral, but that people still recognize authenticity when they see it. In a world saturated with performances, a genuine reaction shines brighter than any spotlight. The cameras eventually turned away. The stage was cleared. The trophies found their shelves. But somewhere online, that brief smile continues to loop, reminding viewers of a timeless truth. Great journeys recognize each other, even in silence. And as the clip continued to circulate, something interesting happened. People stopped talking only about the smile and began talking about the journey behind it. Viewers started replaying old dramas, revisiting scenes that once made them laugh, cry, and wait impatiently for the next episode. They remembered where they were when they first discovered a Lee Min-ho series, or how a song Hye Kyo performance stayed with them long after the credits rolled. The viral moment became a doorway into nostalgia. A Lifetime Achievement Award, by its nature, invites reflection. It asks an audience to look backward before looking forward. In Lee Min-ho's case, it called to mind the early days of rising fame, the breakout roles that turned him into a household name, the periods of immense popularity that can feel both like a gift and a burden. Global tours. International interviews. The careful balance between accessibility and privacy. Success at that scale is rarely simple. For every glamorous premiere, there are months of demanding schedules. For every award, there are risks taken on projects that might not succeed. For every cheering crowd, there are quiet hotel rooms in foreign cities where an actor sits with scripts, learning lines that must feel real to millions. Song Hye Kyo's career tells a parallel story of endurance. She, too, has navigated the shifting tides of public opinion and the relentless evolution of the industry. She has reinvented her image, chosen roles that challenged expectations, and maintained a presence defined by poise rather than noise. So when audiences saw her smile during that award moment, some began to interpret it as something deeper than polite applause. They saw it as one veteran recognizing another. One survivor of fame acknowledging the milestone of a peer who understands the same pressures. In documentary terms, it was a silent dialogue between two long-running narratives. The camera, though impartial, has a way of finding meaning. It zooms in at the right second, and suddenly a private reaction becomes public property. That is the paradox of celebrity life. The more natural the moment, the more powerful it becomes when captured. Industry insiders often say that respect among top actors is rarely loud. It is shown in small gestures. A nod backstage. A supportive message. A smile from the audience when a name is called. These signals may look minor, but within the circle of those who understand the craft, they carry weight. The public, watching from afar, senses that weight even if they cannot name it. The viral spread of the clip also revealed something about the audience. People are drawn to moments that feel unscripted. In an era where so much content is curated, filtered, and polished, a candid reaction feels refreshing. It reminds viewers that behind the fame are individuals capable of simple, sincere emotions. And perhaps that is why the moment endured beyond the news cycle. It was not scandalous. It was not controversial. It did not rely on shock. It was gentle, almost quiet. Yet it held attention in a world that usually rewards the loudest stories. As days pass, award trophies will gather dust on shelves, and new headlines will replace old ones. That is the rhythm of entertainment. Always moving, always renewing. But certain images remain. An actor standing on stage, reflecting on a long road. Another actor in the audience, smiling with what looks like genuine pride. Two careers that helped shape an era, briefly intersecting in a way that needed no words. If this were truly a cinematic documentary, this is where the narrator's voice would soften. The music would lower. The frame would widen to show the grand hall, the lights, the audience, the scale of the industry that builds and celebrates its stars. And the closing thought might be this: a lifetime achievement is not just about what one person has done. It is about the generation that rose together, the peers who witnessed the climb, and the audience that carried those stories across borders and years. The smile that went viral may fade from trending lists, but the journeys behind it continue. Still unfolding, still human, still searching for meaning beyond applause. Because in the end, the most powerful legacy is not a single role or a single award. It is the quiet respect earned over time, and the unspoken recognition between those who know what the journey truly costs.